Martin, it's not supposed to be easy winning titles. I saw you just collapse to the turf at full time. How much did that demand from you?
Yeah, it was tough. It was very intense, very physical, and yeah, especially for me playing 90 again was tough. But yeah, we did everything we could, and we got the win, and that was the most important thing today, to bounce back with a win. And I thought we did well, you know, to get over the line and get the 3 points, which was the main thing.
Talk us through the corner routines today. We've seen you go long to great effect all season. I wondered, would it have been like a late decision when you see like the big lineup that Eddie House picked?
I mean, we practice it all. We practice the short one, we practice first post, second post, everything, you know, and that's our quality. We can score in so many different ways, and today we did it brilliantly. I thought we were quite dangerous a few more times as well, so yeah, credit to the work we do at the training ground, you know.
How much nerve almost does it take to keep doing it? Because you could almost sense people getting irritated with you doing it for a third time, but I guess corners 1 and 2 sort of open up that space for third time, and then obviously Eze's quality is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the stadium was a bit annoyed that we took it short a few times.
I think they were.
But yeah, it paid off in the end, and a great finish from Eb, so yeah, it was brilliant.
Physically, how demanding is it at the minute? I reference you dropping to the turf. Obviously, looks like you've lost Kai today, lost Ebbs as well. For all of you, does it feel like, I don't know, like you're right on the brink, you're really having to push yourselves?
I mean, the schedule is crazy, but it is what it is, and we're used to it. We just have to keep going, you know, and yeah, it's the end of the season, so just leave everything out that we have inside, and just fight every single game and for every single win, and we did that today, and we just have to keep going, look for the next game now, and win again and keep going.
And of course, like for so much of this season, tonight when you look at the table, you'll see Arsenal on top of the league, and that's the be all and end all, right?
Yeah, that's where we want to be. Well, it's going to go all the way to the end, and we're ready for it. We're going to fight every single day, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Well done.
Thank you.
You don't want to watch that.
Heart attack there.
What was your feeling when you saw the ball just landing at Visser's foot there?
Yeah, there were a lot of balls to watch, to be fair. That was the biggest chance that they had. But overall, yeah, we got the results that we wanted, and we are very happy.
How tense were those final moments?
Yeah, 1-0, and against this team, I think they made 5 subs. It felt like they made 10 subs. They kept bringing players in, and you see, you have the necessity to win the game. The margins are very, very, very short, and yeah, I think we go through it.
What did you think of your team's performance though today?
There were moments in the first half, there were moments in the second half. Certainly we had so much discipline and courage and great habits defensively, but with the ball there are moments that we have to do much better. We want to be much more dominant in the game.
With the ball? Or?
Yes,
yeah.
with the ball, yeah.
In what areas particularly?
In many areas, in the way that we don't finish actions, the amount of time that we get into positions, that we have to have some end product and get set in the final third and continue there, and the play breaks up. But the important thing is the reaction to those plays when that happens.
Mikel, it's only the second time Odegaard and Eze have played together. Is that now like all in, get the best players on the pitch, or is it just the way it's just worked out?
Well, they haven't been available much in this season, so that's been a big part, I think, with Kai and Bukayo. They never played together, which is incredible. So we had to manage a lot of situations this season. Let's see, we have lost a few players tonight as well, but the good thing is that the team continues to compete.
Mikel, the goal, the set piece, took 3 times to get there, third time lucky. Obviously something that you'd worked on just to get Eberechi Eze just so that on the edge of the box free. You scored against Newcastle earlier in the season from a short corner. Was that something that you'd obviously worked on to open up that corridor?
We have to be very unpredictable in everything that we do in the game, and obviously when you look at the size, the physicality that they have, the way they defend, we believe that it was a big opportunity for us there to exploit, even though the crowd reacted in the first and the second way in certain way, which is understandable, but we do things because we believe they're going to give us value, and it was a great action, to be fair.
This is why you signed Eze in the first place.
Yeah, at the end the ball has to arrive. You can do anything, the ball has to arrive to the right play in the right position, and if that's the case, then the chances of this happening are bigger.
Was your plan for them 3 corners bang short every time, or would you leave that to the players for that? Because obviously when the first one doesn't work, the fans get restless, and then the next one, it was all right, he has a shot, but it takes some to do it again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Was that the plan? Just keep on doing that?
But that's the courage that we demand to the player, because we can put it direct, and Pope is really good. He can catch it, he can counter with the 3 front players that they have, and it might not go well. So if we believe it's their best thing to do it. And if you make a mistake, an error is part of football, do it again.
Mikel, just a couple more for you. How difficult is it when you've got the lead to get that balance between protecting it because of so much that is at stake and going to try and make it more comfortable for yourself and for the fans?
The message at halftime was clear, go and get the second one. But as I said, we didn't finalize enough action. We had openings. There is obviously a really debatable no red card for the second time in 2 games, because against City we should have played against 10 men with 1-1 again.
You thought Nick Pope was
Yes, and I just watched it back, and for me it's crystal clear. Because if that happens with Pope inside the goal, and the defender is outside, he fouls, and it's a red card.
Personally, I thought Gyökeres stopped, and that's why I didn't think he got sent off, because when the ball goes over, he thinks that Pope's going to clear it, he misses it, and then he goes again, and then that's why I thought maybe he didn't get sent off. That's why, because he stops.
But he stops the trajectory and the run and the speed.
Yeah, but if he'd have carried on running, I think you never know. I think, I thought that was a 50-50.
Eze and Havertz, how are they?
Let's see. At the moment, they have to be looked after, but hopefully they're going to be okay.
1 down?
1 down, 4 to go. And now we have to go to Madrid with desperate to go, because that's such a beautiful moment for us.
We wish you well. Thank you for talking to us. Congratulations on this evening.
Thank you.
Was that today just an absolutely vital 3 points you had to get?
Yeah, I think we knew coming into the game we had to bounce back after last week, and you know, Newcastle was no pushover. Top team, top players, top manager. So to beat them home and away this season is massive, but today was a really big 3 points for us.
It was some goal to win it for you, and there seemed to be a short corner plan, was there?
Yeah, I think different teams set up differently at corners, and everyone thinks we're probably going to cross the ball all the time, but you know, we had an overload always at the edge, so we exploited that. And there was 1 or 2 before that, before the goal went in. But what finished from Ebbs, you know, he's got that in his locker, and so happy for him.
3 points ahead of City now, and you play again before their next game. Is it now over to you, Manchester City?
No, it's just you know, we've got 4 left, they've got 5 left. You know, we knew after last week what we have to do. We have to win every game, and we can't focus on other people. We can only focus on ourselves. And yeah, we have a big Champions League semi-final Wednesday, so we turn to that now.
You'd expect him to say what he's saying, because they know that at this stage of the season, you can hear him talking about the fans and how, you know, unhappy they were when they took for the 3rd time they took the corner, but obviously as he scored. But I think from the players and the fans' point of view, there's a lot of pressure involved at the moment, because they've both been through so much trying to finish this job off. So, you know, we're going to just have to see how it goes. Everybody's just going to have to just hang in there. You know, if it's going to be 1-0 for the end of the season, then you're going to just have to take it. But I totally understand from the fans' point of view, because they've been through it, and I totally understand from the players' point of view who are trying to do it, but they're obviously very nervous about what they're trying to do to get over the line. So, you know, something's going to give. Something's going to give.
The other thing he mentioned, which you've briefly touched on, and you certainly did that analysis at half-time, are the short corners. It's unusual from Arsenal.
Yeah, unusual, but you train all week, and you train and train to go against the opposition that you're playing at, and you look at the weaknesses that team may have, and you might identify some, which Arsenal did today. They identified, played at short corner. You can pull a couple of people out of place, and then get an opportunity to shoot, and they did that, and it's something that they've worked on. Although the crowd were moaning every time they took it, they scored a goal at the end of it. It's the goal that's won them the game. So they've stuck to the process that the manager's given them, and they've got the result come the end of it.
Got to keep doing that.
Yeah, so they had 2 of those short corners first, and it was from the 3rd one that they scored. So let's have a look at the goal.
Well, you can see what's happened is that Willock is going all the way in with Ødegaard, because he's followed him before, but then the ball goes, that then leaves a massive space. You can see the massive space there, you can see it. So Willock comes all the way with Ødegaard, who's got no intentions of getting the ball. Now he passes it straight into Ødegaard, who's got oceans of space, and then you can see the amount of time and space that Eze's got, and he rolls this to him perfectly. And then we're talking about a world-class player for me.
And then when you're looking at that, you're seeing Kai Havertz, who's coming and getting the ball off the corner, and you're thinking to yourself, that's the person that's supposed to be playing centre forward. So none of the centre forwards had gone with him. So he had all the time in the world to turn and then play the ball to Eze. So I think it was a really well worked corner routine that they used today.
And the thing with it as well, like, they know that they've got big players in there, so they want to keep it away from someone like a Dan Burn, because I think they scored a goal against them with a short corner that we saw earlier on as well, because they know that if you put it in there's a good chance that the size of the goalkeeper, Dan Burn, and the other guys that are in there, the big guys that's in there, Botman, and that, they know that they'll clear it or something. So they've tried something else to the point where they've done it 3 times on the spin, and it's worked. So as long as they can do this now and stick to what they believe in and what they've been working on the training ground, then they'll get through it.
Yeah, Havertz involved in that goal for Arsenal, and then he went off. He was injured, just after the half-hour mark, and this is Havertz going pretty much straight down the tunnel. He only just started against City for the first time in a long time. This injury, how concerned are you?
I'm quite concerned when you consider that he's broken down again. You can see how disappointed. You could tell as well, Les, when you see somebody walking off like that. You see the difference in Eze walking off and the difference with Havertz walking off. You can see that Eze's saying, I'm all right, I've just felt a little something. It's precautionary, and they've probably been told that. But Havertz, you can see that, that looks like a lengthy one.
Yeah, that looks like a reoccurrence of whatever he's had before. Yeah. Just tell by his face and the way he walks off and straight down the tunnel that don't expect to see him anytime soon.
What does he bring to Arsenal? Because, we saw his involvement in the first goal.
And I think that's what it is. He leads the line really well. Holds things up, gets himself into good positions where he can link the play for Arsenal. And that's what they're missing with, Victor has come in and hasn't quite been able to link it as well as Havertz. And when he's there, you can see that Arsenal have a focal point up front and they can play off him. So that's going to be a big miss, a real big miss for him.
Yeah, we don't want to preempt things. We obviously have no idea, but the way it looks, it might be Gyökeres leading the line for last few games.
Maybe. I'm hearing that Mikel Merino's on his way back as well. You don't know how fit he will be, but he's similar to Havertz in the way that he can link the play and come and play in a corner situation like that. He's great in the box. He's a great finisher in the box. So fingers crossed that he can come back in the next maybe week or so, 2 weeks, and then, kind of fill that gap.
We talked about how nervy it was at the end because Newcastle did create opportunities, none more clear than this from Yohan Wissa.
Cool. I mean, as I said earlier on, they don't have a good record at the Emirates, but as a centre forward, he's missed a lot of the season, and you can look at it and say he probably just hasn't got that sharpness at the moment, but that's an incredible chance.
The thing is Les, with Voldemar, that is brilliant from him. He doesn't need to go down, Les. He does. You're going to sky that because he's going down now instead of standing up and just side foot it over to the left hand side. It's the kind of finish, Les. That's the kind of finish there, Jules, of somebody who's desperate to score. He couldn't wait to fall on it. He wanted to volley it in spectacularly where all he needed to do, because the goalkeeper's kind of in no man's land there. You just go side foot it in there, you and the goalkeeper might clash, but you will get there first. You can see he's got to the ball first, Les.
And this is a great just need to side foot it. Just side foot him. There's no need to go to ground, there's no need to, because going to ground means you're going to lift the ball, and that's exactly what he did. It's just it's horrible to
Arsenal got away with one there. Without a shadow of a doubt, they got away. That was horrible to see because, again, it's a massive lack of composure for somebody that's cost quite a few quid for him. 55 million. 55 million. He should be scoring that.
Yeah, we'd be talking a very different story right now because Arsenal are top of the table ahead of Manchester City, who were in FA Cup action a little bit earlier on, actually the same time as Arsenal. That is confirmation that City are through to the FA Cup final. They had to come from a goal down. Finazaz giving Southampton the lead in the 79th minute, but Doku and Gonzalez in the space of 5 minutes turning that game on its head. It's important for City, obviously, because they're into the final, but it's also important for the Premier League because this is what it means for the rest of the season now, with the FA Cup final being on the 16th of May. So City will not play on the penultimate weekend of the season. These are the upcoming fixtures, and it means that City Bournemouth and City Crystal Palace are those two fixtures in the Premier League that still have to be confirmed. Does that impact the race, and how?
Well, the thing is that City know how to navigate this, even regardless of, playing in the FA Cup and, having to play the game at different times. It won't make any difference to them in respect to the players and what they need to do, because this is the Premier League. We're talking about a team that's been able to do it 4 times on the spin. So I'm not sure they're bothered about how many games they'll have to play if they can get this done. They'll be chasing Arsenal down to the end for me, regardless of how the fixtures pan out.
And they made quite a few changes for this fixture today.
Yeah.
And those boys that came off the bench who haven't been playing turned up today and got a victory. And they're playing with a swagger at the moment, a confidence that, you know, Arsenal were playing at the start of the season, and I think that's what all the supporters want them to get back to, that swagger. But Man City look pretty much in control of what they're doing at the moment.
So Arsenal play Fulham before Manchester City return to Premier League action against Everton next time out. And that Fulham game, another London derby for them, it is at home. What would you say to the Arsenal team if you were in there right now with regards to everything we've kind of heard about the fans and playing at home and the nervous energy?
Well, I think that the players themselves are very much doing what they are told to do, because they weren't frightened where they're saying, OK, the fans are not going to like it, so we're just going to put it in. They're going to stick to the plan. And I think for so long as they stick to the plan, hopefully Eze's not too bad, because I think that he made a difference, just like he did at City, nearly scored. But him, Havertz, who obviously is out now, which is it's a real blow, and Ødegaard, I knew that with them three playing, we're going to create the kind of chances. So now we're going to have to find somebody else to step in where Havertz was to try and create those chances, because Fulham is going to be a tough game. It's another London derby. And, you know, they've caused us problems before. So it's going to be a game where they're going to have to be resolute again. They're going to have to take the chances. And hopefully there'll be more chances and more goals for Arsenal, because you just want to relax. Fans need to relax in the stadium as well. And it's up to the players to maybe give them that. It's up to the players to give them that.
Less possession as well, 45% to Newcastle's 55%. It was all about the moments, and Arsenal managed to create a moment and finish the moment, which has been your mantra, I think, all day today, Paul. It was just about getting over the line.
Yeah, it sounded a lot easier saying it than doing it. Yeah, I don't know.
Was it harder than you actually expected it to be today?
Yeah, I don't get it too often, but I could get the feeling. You know, even I was getting involved. The nerves were setting in, and it's not a nice watch. And I don't mean that in a horrible way with the team. I just think it's very, very nervy, very nervy. It's been so long that it's sort of unenjoyable, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be enjoying these moments, but it's hard to enjoy at the moment because it's just so nervy. And that's with the players, that's with the fans, that's with everybody. You know, I'm not blaming anybody. It's not enjoyable at the moment. It's hard.
But this isn't new, Jamie. This has been the case for quite a few weeks now coming here, hasn't it?
Years.
2 years. 2 years, you're right, Paul. I totally agree. And you can tell yourself all you like. Pressure is a privilege. We're giving ourselves such an opportunity. But actually, when you're out there, sometimes fear can strangle you. It can take over you. And all the simple things that normally you just do because you've done it since you were 10, 11 years of age, you find so difficult. And that's what's happening with Arsenal right now. You know, individual mistakes or players maybe not having that final pass. And it just suffocates you. It stops you being the player that you are. And that's why it was so important today that there was one outstanding moment of real quality by Eberechi Eze that was the real difference. An absolutely incredible moment, exactly what they needed. And then, you know, you've got the back four to just hang on to that lead, and a fantastic goalkeeper. A massive 3 points. And it's going to go on an awful... If they hadn't won today, you just couldn't see a way back for them. But right now, they've given themselves a great chance, and they can build on this now and get back to that winning run, because I think they're going to have to go perfect to the end of the season.
And isn't that ultimately, Paul, what it comes down to in these really tense games, in these really tense moments when Arsenal and Manchester City are both trying to win the league? It's those players with X factor, with a little bit of magic in their boots, who can make a difference, like a Cherki for Manchester City, and like an Eze, who could be that guy for Arsenal.
Well, that's what they bought him for. They bought him for that magic. He's got the magic. He's a very talented footballer. Plays with a lot of freedom. He plays with a lot of freedom. Not many people score that goal. You know, professional footballers, you can take it many times. To get that the way he hit it against a very good goalkeeper in Pope, he's the X factor. You need to get the X factors on the pitch, and they're the ones who make the difference. You know, you'll get your players that run around, you'll work hard, and they'll be great for the team. but you have to that little bit of magic. You have to, otherwise nothing ever happens. So for me, he's paid back everything in one go.
Let's have a look how they managed to create an opening for Eberechi Eze on the edge of the box. And Jamie, this is something that we noticed in the first 9 minutes. They took 3 short corners, 6 before this all season, and it was almost like every time Odegaard was reinforcing the point to Madueke, because often we'd see Saka swing these in.
Because
keep going short.
Exactly right, because what they're expecting, obviously with Gabriel and Saliba at the back post, they're going to swing that one in. They're not expecting the short corner, and they're actually thinking, well, OK, we're fine, we've got a good position here. Eze has a shot on it, on his left foot there, which is not his favoured foot. Now this one, it works perfectly because they're actually thinking not going to do it again. You can see Havertz find himself in a really good position. He keeps the ball, sets it back perfectly, and Eberechi Eze, just watch how he opens his body up here, because he knows this time he wants it to be on his right foot. Just keep your eye on him. You can see that they feed it into Havertz. Now he's got an enormous amount of space if he can lay it back. He just opens his body now. Now he's just started to creep and just say, right, pass it onto my right foot this time. That short step to the left, and then he hits that so well. And as he hits it, you can already see he knows he's off. His body's taking him that way. That's flying into the top corner. Wonderful, wonderful technique.
Just to be clear, is all that movement, do you think, choreographed? So they know if they can get Odegaard out there, they can get the marker to follow him. That will open up a little gap for Havertz, who knows behind him is Eze waiting.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But fair play to Madueke and Odegaard, because the fans are getting restless after 2 of them. The first one went horribly wrong. Second one weren't great. But yeah, it's all done to take everybody in for him to be there on his own. And it's just a phenomenal finish. It's worthy of winning any football match, and he's done that today. And that's what he was bought for. He was bought for them moments, because not many people on that football pitch could do what he done today.
Do you think his football looks less tense than some of his teammates?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. I think as well, Odegaard as well. I thought at times it wasn't necessarily his best game, but I always felt when he had the ball, there was a bit of calmness about it. He tried to find the right pass, and when Bukayo came on for the last 10, 15 minutes, they linked up nicely. But it's difficult. It's very easy for us to sit here. I've been in that position trying to win titles and giving away goals in the last minute, and set pieces, maybe someone hurting you, and you're thinking, we're so confident here, we should win, and all the messaging, and you can have all the videos, all the positive, information given to you. Pressure can take hold of you, and the fact that they managed that game at the end was a great indictment of what they're trying to do here. Now, and I'm sure the manager will let's just keep ticking them off. Yes, you want to win 2-3-0 if you can and try and get your goal difference up, because it might come down to goal difference. But right now, the objective was to get the 3 points. They did that with a moment of magic.
It's all about just chalking them off, isn't it? As he said at this point of the season for Mikel Arteta. And there is obviously concern in the camp about... Oh, still got a bit of talent. There is obviously concern in the camp about 2 of their better attacking players in Eze and Havertz.
Yeah, it's not, and it makes it more difficult, because at least when you've got an option to come off the bench and you need that striker, whether you start with Havertz, which does feel like the better option out of the 2, otherwise it puts an enormous amount of pressure. Maybe you could play someone else up front. You could even think about maybe playing Eze as like a false 9, so he could come into areas as well. But you'd like to have that other one as an option. So it didn't look good, to be honest. Eze maybe less so, he might be okay, but I didn't feel that Havertz was going to be okay for a couple of weeks, but I'm not a doctor.
But he was really honest there, wasn't he? And that is not a manager that's pleased with the way his team's performed this evening.
Yeah, I understand what he said. I mean, the one for me was when Gyökeres went down the left. He's just got to roll it across.
Yeah.
It's, them little moments, that they could have gone up the other end and scored then. You've got to take care of them moments. And I think it's concentration. Again, nerves gets the best of you. You ask any footballer, if it's one thing you could bottle up, it'll be confidence. And sometimes for a team at the top of the league and in the semi-final of the Champions League, they don't have that swagger. They don't have that, you're not going to beat us. We're going to steamroller you, and I think that's the biggest worry at the moment. But they got to get together and go. Semi-final of the Champions League and 3 points clear with 4 games to go is some going for a phenomenal. Fair play to them.
Yes, but it's because of where they were, isn't it? That everyone's getting a little bit
they've
very
done it 4
tense.
years. They've done it 3 years on the trot. That's the problem.
Now, and he thinks, of course, it could have been easier, because he is, as you heard, is convinced that Nick Pope should have been sent off for this incident, for denying a goal-scoring opportunity. And Merce, we heard your argument as well. And the VAR had another look at it, and they were of the view that the Newcastle defender there is going to stop Gyökeres having a shot on goal.
When Gyökeres, is what I said to Mikel, if you watch now, he stops, look. And that's why. And
He
then
stops, but
goes,
he's trying to get round him, but he can't, can he?
Yeah, but he gives up because he thinks that Pope's going to get the ball, and then he stops, and then he misses it, and he goes, "I'm going to go now," and then he pulls him down. But I don't personally think, that's a stonewall sending off, in my opinion.
It wouldn't have surprised me one bit if he'd have sent him off. I think I can see why, Malik Chow has gone, he's sort of covering ground, but he stops himself. Don't get me wrong, he's extremely quick, but you can't judge it on how quick somebody is. It's just what's going to happen with the action. But I can see why, if he'd have sent him off, I don't think there'd been too many complaints.
But it's not a clear and obvious opportunity. He's got a lot to do. He's not going to get there and then just roll it into the net. There's a lot to do. He's got to beat the defender.
The question is the defender getting there first?
I don't think
They both stop. I don't know. I think that's the problem
he
there.
has to stop Paul because he's getting fouled there.
Well, and then he gets sent off then when he does that, if he runs quickly. But he doesn't. He goes and he stops. Yeah, it's done now. I mean, yeah, I didn't think it was stonewall, in my opinion. There was a lot to do. The ball's out. It's a long way into the thing. He's not going to wait it and roll it in from 30, 40 yards on the right-hand side. So for me, it wasn't clear and obvious.
It would have been a much louder,
clear and obvious opportunity to score.
A louder and longer debate had Newcastle actually got back into the game.
Then I would have said sending off.
Then you would have said absolutely.